And we are live on this July 3rd Friday evening when people hopefully have lots of plans and cooking out and doing fun stuff. Let's go ahead and figure out who all's in here. What time are we going to hear rogue fireworks from kids who want to set them off tonight? We got some people over there that love to do that. So what time tonight are we going to hear the rogue fireworks? All right, who all is here? Wendy English, Big Mike of the Hoopty Barn, Mr. Disassembling a Honda. Danny Boyd, Professor P says, "What's up, suckers?" Hello, Professor P. He's in the garage letting it play in the background. Well, hopefully it'll be fun and entertaining. Lone Wrench Mike is here. Danny Boyd is listing songs I don't like, but he has not listed the one that I dislike more than any other. Yeah, those are all terrible. And I don't know who that is, but I don't care. I don't need to. Stephen Hoth says, "Evening all." Kerosene Cucumbers is here. Danny Boyd's comment begins with brang, so it ends with brang with me. I don't read anything else after that. Mexican Spec. Howdy. Wendy says, "Hotter than a $2 pistol." I don't know. Unfinished Project says, "Dark Sport, Pure Pontiac Garage, Levi's Backyard Performance." Danny Boyd says, "Happy 250th. Yes, happy 250th birthday, America, tomorrow. And happy 10th birthday, Jethro, tomorrow." We celebrate his birthday July 4th. Rabid Transit J. Thank you for coming by, Jay. The One-Eyed Cat, Twisted Dennis, Indirect Connection Jason. I'm sure he would rather be driving right now. Lars is here. 6th Street Garage, a.k.a. Matthew Ward 627. Unfinished Project puts up the link, says, "Get registered." Yes, we're 82 days, 3 hours, 56 minutes away from the 5th annual AHRA No Name Nationals. You probably know whether or not you're coming by now. So if you would like to register, we would like to have you. The Manic Mechanic. Good hot evening, everyone. Yes, indeed. You know, poor Jethro kind of gets ripped off on his evening walk on Fridays because it's still too hot to take him, you know, an hour before. I really need more time than that. So I'd have to take him about 6 Eastern, too hot for that. And then, you know, at 10 o'clock, I don't really like taking him that late because he sees all these critters out, you know, rabbits and deer and even a bear. So the sweet spot to walk him is right in the middle of the live. So I'm going to owe him an early Saturday morning walk. Tanya Falk is here, says, "Hello all. Thank you for coming by. Glad you're here, boss." Heavens Mopar Scott. Greeting friends. Scott, what is going on in Scott's lair at the moment? I didn't know who was or if that was even a song, but it is an expression I have heard, Danny Boyd. Manic Mechanic, hotter than a chainsaw in a pawn shop. Yeah, I could see that. I don't understand the whole I don't understand the whole thing with all the tools you see in pawn shops. I mean, it's just constantly. It seems like there's more tools in pawn shops than there are in Home Depot. I mean, it's just like their currency or something. Dave Stovall Farms and Garage, not working here, fit the evening. Thank you for joining us. We're glad you're here. I know Dave says he usually has trouble catching the live he watches on replay. Well, we're glad you're here tonight. Steven says, "Got the driver door on the Challengers." They're working on Challenger tonight. Wendy says, "Still 90 here." It was 93 degrees in my kitchen about 30 minutes ago. Left Turn Dodge. Taking a break from turning left to joining us. Turbo Tom says, "Hi from Ohio. Storms are moving in. Boy, a rainstorm will cool it down good here." Fast Thing 89 says, "Good evening from the People's Republic of California." Yes, I had a quick maintenance call in to Colleen for something administrative. No worries, we got it. Colleen and Lars especially help me administer things occasionally, administrative to the live and the community. So that's what she's talking about. Indirect Jason says, I'd rather be 1,702 miles west right now helping Scott and giving Stephen bad ideas. I had the pleasure of having lunch with Jason. Is that yesterday or day before? I think it was day before, wasn't it? I don't know. They all run together. But anyway, it was good to see Jason. Yeah, they're thinking stolen tools. Danny Boy says, I've never been in a pawn shop. I think Danny Boy would love pawn shops. I could see that. He seems like a pawn shop kind of guy. Indiana Garage says, I'm here for now. We're glad that you're here for the time being, Adam. Thank you. Big Mike said it's hotter than the girl who ain't the Marion type. Isn't that all of them now? Wendy said it got to 100. I think we hit 95 here. I don't know. Unfinished project. I know where there's a door for a Challenger. And how many pieces? Wow. Indirect Jason says that the storm came through south of him and killed 3 people. Yikes. Levi's got a radiator for Brooks' truck that's coming to the No Name National. Close to getting that radiator mounted. Levi says, Colleen and Lars are big pillars of this awesome community. Yes, they are. Danny Boyd was on the phone with What's Zonda 2B during last week's live. I never see What's Zonda. I've on a rare occasion. Steven says, we're messing with door hinges on Scott's Duster. That sounds like a good thing. Left Turn Dodge says, we had a boom at pawn shops around 15 years ago. Yeah, the economy collapsed in 2008. There's all kinds of things, businesses that boomed. I remember in Bluefield, there was an explosion in streetwalkers when the economy crashed like that. And one time they had a big sweep and arrested about 30 of them in one weekend. But it was crazy because my friend's shop is right there on the main drag, and you'd see him just walking up and down the avenue. And occasionally the cops would stop and arrest people at the old defunct gas station across the street. It's not in a good neighborhood, in case you haven't already figured that out. Danny Boyd said, I'd definitely be dazzled by the merchandise at the pawn shop, tools, electronics, guitars, which I hardly play anymore. Yeah, they're interesting. Pawn shop prices have gotten crazy, though, just in general. The Manic Mechanic is getting his fuel system installed on the S10. What can I say? 82 days, 3 hours, 50 minutes away. It's going to run or it's not. Now, something I'll just throw out there for those of you who did not see my community post, speaking of it's going to run or it's not, that character, Rich 220, who's kind of, been floating around this community for years. Rich died here last week. It's not really surprising. He's been in ill health for many, many years. But the last time he was in here was probably a few months ago, and, comes in, gets mad, and leaves, and does that again and again and again. But anyway, he was in there a few months. He kind of disappeared for a little while, and I wondered, so I checked in, and sure enough, Rich is gone. And Wrong English put a comment on the post that says, I guess he's adjusting the valves in heaven, so perhaps he is. But anyway, we are sorry for the Furter family's loss. We were all hoping Rich would get a handle on his health and turn it around, and that didn't happen. But anyway, for those who didn't see the post, I thought I would mention that because occasionally people ask about him. I had somebody, a lot of people don't realize how much he actually enjoyed Cardboard Rich. He really did like that. I mean, he made that his channel art for a while. He was flying high for about a month over that. He really got a kick out of the Cardboard Rich thing. But anyway, we're glad we could bring him a little bit of happiness in his gray cloud and in the crazy way that we could do it, that he would let us. So anyway, I'm glad all of you guys are here and as healthy and live as we can be. Something I'll mention now, and I'll mention it again later in the live, is that I'm doing something I haven't done before. It's kind of interesting. This week, and yeah, and you know, before we go into that, is Brian Cabral there? I heard he was. I've not seen an obit. Yeah, I have not seen an obit for him. I've heard he's dead, and I have seen. I'm about 99% sure that his apartment is vacant and for rent at one time after he vanished. So I think he probably is. So somebody said he was. I couldn't find the note, but who knows? It doesn't mean people are still alive, because I have friends who died and never had obituaries. And Rich doesn't, but he had this little crematory notice, and his sister confirmed it. And his brother died 2 days later, and he doesn't have an obit. So not everybody has to have an obit to prove they died. Those things are expensive. I know. I just paid for a couple of them. They're not cheap. Yeah, we invited Rich when I went up to Pennsylvania for Dawn. We went to see the One-Eyed Cat and Mrs. One-Eyed Cat and Nelson's. We took Cardboard Rich with us and had him on the live. And I told Rich, I said, listen, I know I'm blocked over there, but if somebody wants to let Rich know, because I'm sure somebody will, I said, he can come over here, he can meet us, and he can have Cardboard Rich and come hang out and do what we're doing. Because it's only a few hours away from him, from where Dawn is. So, you know. We tried. We had our hands outstretched for a handshake for years. But no, I think Cabral probably is dead. I heard that. His apartment was vacant at the same time. Of course, not the house he didn't own or any of that, but I think he probably is too. Yes, and has a family's grieving for him. His family's, I think, by their own admission, is dysfunctional and such, you know. But you know, yes, they are grieving for him. I think that was contributed greatly to Daniel's passing, and his sister certainly is, and all that. So he has family that cares about him, even though they weren't. I think they were kind of decentralized and whatnot. But anyway, we were all pulling for Rich. We were for years. Well, Cabral jumped off the internet because he was getting a lot of heat. Well, I mean, the his house was a fraud. The biker thing, we're almost certain is a fraud. He didn't own the Corvette. That was a fraud. And these things are proven. The Corvette, the house, were proven that he made those up. Actually found proof of who did own them. He was busted. But the one that caused the amount of heat that caused him to bolt for good is he got caught on the stolen valor stuff. And that's when even, you know, his aiming choir started turning on him. And he couldn't handle the heat. He was a man without a country at that point. All the stolen valor people did not take kindly to. And that's when he vanished. And he hadn't posted in a year. But now I think he actually isn't even living anymore. And it's not hard to believe. He wasn't in any good health. Old McDonald says, nice work on the Demon and Duster. But yeah, it does. Adam's done an awesome job with that. Really, he has. He has. You talk about guys who build a car, he really built a car, really and truly. He's done an awesome job with that. I strongly encourage you, if you haven't seen that, go over to Indiana Garage, and I'm hoping I'm assuming you got that organized in the playlist over there, but he really built a car. Yeah, sometimes that happens. People die within days of each other. That's right. Been a big time ride building. Oh, yeah. Maybe the real Rich 220 is the friends we made along the way. try just not to take anybody here for granted, and I'm glad you all are here. But you got to say, when you have this many people in a community and this many people around the community, it's going to happen. Engine Light Garage says, hello there, everyone. Hello, glad you're here. What kind of progress we making with Mommy's Garage? She's still got about 53 subs, got a long way to go. There's still plenty of time, though. Rabbit Transit J says, opinion. Would one that is planning on making a mini-mile trip choose a Holley or Edelbrock carburetor? Well, either one of them can be good, but I'll tell you, I think you've got a few more tuning options with the Edelbrock, especially if you're trying to do mileage. That would be my pick. You can make a Holley get good mileage and all of that, but I will say that if you're trying to do a long road trip, obviously the VRS is designed to be a tuning dream, but there's also ways to tune it down. Now, I'll tell you, I'm having awesome fuel mileage with the Rochester Quadrajet. I know Mopar people don't want to hear it, but I'm here to tell you, I picked up 2.5 miles per gallon and didn't even have the vacuum advance connected. So, and that's what put the carburetor on 3 times the size of the factory. The Quadrajet is legit. Dallas loves them for mileage, and he told me to try it. I did, and he is right. Yeah, Dave Stovall says around here, pawn shops want a new price for crusty tools. No kidding. We got a pawn shop. I'll just say it. We got a pawn shop down here in Christiansburg. There's really only one left, I think. Yeah. Seriously, they want new prices for crusty old. I guess people pay it. If people are paying it and it works for their business model, fine. But yeah. So Mike took the windshield out of his Honda. It took him 30 minutes and 3 seconds. The video will explain the timing. So if you want to see what's up with that. Danny Boyd, why can't an AFB get that miles per gallon? Well, an AFB and AVS is vacuum secondary, so I would definitely want something with vacuum secondaries if I'm going to try to get a mileage carburetor for a mini-mile trip, without a doubt. The person I know who has done the most, though, with a non-vacuum secondary, a mechanical secondary, is Andy Wood. And what Andy does is he jets and restricts the idle circuits on his Hollies so that they're not dumping fuel. Because a car that just has very, very light throttle makes a lot of power. You'd be surprised how much you drive around in the transfer slots and idle circuits. And so he reduces that fuel flow so that it doesn't load up, and he gets a lot better mileage. But he is the exception, not the rule. If I was looking for mileage, I would be thinking vacuum secondary. Wendy says Don's up 22 subs for the short in 30 days. Very good. I don't know how many I'm up. That's a bunch. It's not like the old days, but they still are good. They show people what you're doing every day. We have one today, and then tomorrow is day number last of the 30 shorts in 30 days. So finish strong. I don't know what I'm going to do for mine for tomorrow. I don't know yet. Left Turn Dodge said it's not much different at pawn shops than garage sales. Some people are nuts and some are good. Yeah, I would give it that. But what's different about a pawn shop, they generally don't have things there they don't think they can sell at all. Garage sales often have stuff that just needs to go in the green box. Big Mike said I get most of my best deals at auction. Oh my gosh. I missed, and I even made a community post about it, a racers auction. I didn't go to anything, but they had a couple of TH400s they called Ford transmissions, and I think it's because they had them in a Ford Thunderbird race car. But they were Chevrolet transmissions. They were TH400s. There was 2 of them. And on the cart in the picture, there was a ring gear out of something. It was a big old thick one, so it's probably about a 500 type gear. That cart went for $10. Had I known, I would have at least been. That doesn't mean I'd have bid on it because somebody took it for $10. They probably just smashed up with sledgehammers and said we got more than that in cast aluminum there. But Because I've never built a TH400. That would have been a good opportunity. Road Warrior Dyno System for XC8922. Nice, concise username. I'm a very bad person. I accidentally ignore Mean Street Mopar on some lives. Well, if it's accidental, it doesn't make you a bad person. Mean Street Mopar is a good dude. I haven't seen him in here tonight yet. Indiana Garage says, I worked maintenance at a hospital, cleaned out 2 Vidmar cabinets, finally, of hardware. I know a guy named Vidmar. He says, hardware tools, some boiler room level stuff. They said, get rid of it all. Sold to Vidmar for $900. Cool. Nice deal. I like that. Left Turn Dodge says, I'm probably up 45 subs in 28 days. Yep, something close. You can pick up subs doing it. And the thing is once you get the first chunk, the next chunk is bigger and quicker, and it's worth the grind at the first to really get things moving, and the sooner the better. Last year, if not for one last-minute registration who missed it just barely, we would have had a 100% graduation rate from the No Name 500. This year, my money would not be on that, but we will see. Adam says, I think I'm at 5,555 subs. Somebody should go check on that and see if he earns their sub. I can't imagine he wouldn't, and disrupt his odometer reading there. Dean Stevenson, Execute S3343. I have in the past ignored Mean Street Mopar on some lives. Okay, well, I certainly wouldn't ignore him on purpose. He's a good dude. Danny Boyd says, Vidmar sounds like Sanjay's brother. No, I know a guy, his name is Greg Vidmar. Racer Ray, good evening, all you good folks. Hello, sir. Mopar Den is here. Hello, Dennis. Thank you for coming by. Mopars, Mustangs, and minivans heading to Grandma's. Happy Independence Day, everyone. Mostly Mopars as I came in late, just playing catch up with the live for the moment. Hopefully working on roll bars tomorrow. Oh, sounds like exciting stuff. Indiana Garage says, Stanley Vidmar, if you ever get offered a cabinet, take it. Okay. I got a bunch of filing cabinets that need to get out of here. Unfinished project puts that up. It reminds me I should make some cookies. My aunt has invited me to a cookout tomorrow. I'm thinking I might make peanut butter cookies. I usually make these chocolate oatmeal preacher cookies, but I might do peanut butter. I don't know. Indirect connection, long time no see. Well, did see Jason. If you haven't seen it, I put up a short on his rig he was driving. Levi says, I'm making cinnamon rolls at the moment. Yum. Cinnamon rolls are good. Lars is going down the road. I'll try to make it back in a few. I hear Jethro in their dream barking. He's taking a nap. It is hot. He's been proned out in this heat. Now, I got the attic fans running, and I heard him move. I turned the attic fan off because it would really be obnoxious on the audio in here, but I got the ceiling fan running, and he's gotten under that fan because I can hear where he is. Levi says, I'll never be able to top my grandma's, but I love them. Yeah. So which, you talking preacher cookies or peanut butter cookies? I make my mom's recipe preacher cookies. They're hard to get to turn out, but they sure are popular. Wendy is doing ribs tomorrow. Don't want to disrupt my internet connection here. Hey, Heavens Mopar Scott, are you in here right now? Are you within earshot? If so, what is your zip code that you're in over there on the other end of the world? Danny Boyd says ribs sound good. Ribs, Wendy made ribs. Ribs are all right. So I'll tell you about something I'm doing this week. This week, John Cope is at the lake, and they shut the shop down for the week after 4th of July for vacation. And I'm got the shop phone, so I'm working customer service and taking orders for CRT this week, which has been interesting. I took a few today, and he's kind of decided he wants me to compete against the website. The website is ahead right now, but next week I have a feeling I can catch up. Well, anyway, I put up a short today that explains it, and I'm doing something just for this community while I'm taking those orders. I'm trying to keep pace. I want to beat the website in number of total orders. So for anybody in this community who's interested in this, I'll be willing to do as many as 2 of these. If you call me and get your parts order in by the 13th of July, because that's the last day before the shop reopens on the 14th, you get your order in by the 13th with Cope Racing Transmissions for your parts, and I can help you know what you need and all. For $500 labor, which is a deep discount, okay? That's a whole lot less than what CRT gets to build theirs, and that's less than what I get to build mine. But for $500, which I will pay forward to the No Name Nationals General Fund, it'll go straight to the No Name Nationals, I'll build you a transmission. Any 3-speed, torque flight, anything the 727 904 family, 3 speeds like that. We can do one stockish, forward, reverse, sprag upgrades, do a trans brake if you want, whatever. You pay for the parts, flat fee, $500 labor, no matter what it is I've got to do in there. And so if you want, the shift kit done, you want a different valve body put in, whatever, you cover the parts. $500 labor, that goes straight to the No Name Nationals General Fund. That's a deep discount, and you should be able to have a really nice transmission. It will be something like what the One-Eyed Cat has, something like that. But again, whatever parts you want to do, get them in this week. And you got to do it when you call, because if you do it on the website gets one and I don't. So I want you to you call in the shop. 219-374-0100. And what's great is that the majority of the calls today were 904, which I thought was just great. Neutral drop rated sprags. No, do not neutral drop your Chrysler transmissions. Do not do that. You can literally lose a foot. Don't do that. Max Wedge Dick Dashwood says, my engine may be done next year. My buddy has my new pistons, H-beam rods, block crank, etc. Machine work needs done yet. Okay, understandable. Well, I'll tell you about the sprags. The sprag is not usually what fails, at least where it bolts in the case. It's the spring and the rollers get messed up. And so the best insurance you can have against that is obviously don't abuse it. Don't neutral drop it. Don't do your burnout and first and let it hook up. But just new springs and rollers are a little bit of insurance against that, because when the spring and roller binds up and chews up and goes sideways, it's going to spin it in the case. And when it spins it in the case, you're going to have a kaboom. Some people get really lucky with that, and they have a sprag come all apart and freewheel, but they don't have enough RPM to spin that drum. That drum will spin like 2.2 times engine speed. So when the engine's turning about 4,000, your drum will turn 9,000. That's where they start coming apart. No, you're not supposed to neutral drop them. The best defense against a sprag that has come apart is a billet steel drum. And that's the best defense you can have against it. And then, of course, you should run shields and stuff like that. But I'm putting a bolt-in sprag in the 727 I'm building right now for Dexter. Left turn Dodge says no neutral drops. You're going to go big. Reverse drop. Well, a reverse drop would theoretically have less chance of destroying your drum because you're going to be applying the low reverse band at the same time. The neutral drop puts it in drive. You don't have the band come on, and so it's all on the sprag. Evans Mopar Scott, he swapped out rear ends mine with his, came in with full front suspension, dropped in a 383 727 doors, fenders, back seat, hood grill next. Not supposed to neutral drop any of them. I totally agree. I'm not saying I've never done it, but I am saying I never should have. Interestingly, a 904, I think, has a better sprag design than a 727 anyway. The 904 has either 2 big pins or 4 pins or bolts that hold the outer sprag race in. 727 has these reeds, like a reeded edge on a coin, and the actual case is just smooth. And when they press this in there, these reeds are an interference fit when they press in the case, and that groove you're seeing right there is designed to catch the shavings as this presses down into the case. So that's what's holding your sprag race in the 727. I think a 904 has a better design. They have factory bolt-in sprags, especially once you get up in the late 80s. There's a in an 87 and up 904, you have 11 bolts that hold the sprag in. 11, because you got all that reaction shaft support bolts too. There are 11 bolts holding that in. I literally think you would break the case in two before you could spin a sprag in a 904, a late one like that. Does a trans brake do as much stress as a neutral drop does? No. The rear end and transmission, they wouldn't know the difference, but the trans brake does not. And the reason is because when you're leaving on the trans brake, you've got it in first and reverse at the same time, and you've got that band on. Okay. When you do a neutral drop, you don't. You're going to D, which is first, and it just slams it against the sprag. Rapid Transit J says, I've blown up 904, 727, and C6. I thought a C6 was supposed to be indestructible. I know they're tough transmissions. People say they run hot, though. I've not done much of anything with a C6 in my life. I kind of like the C4 because it's a lot like a 904, except it has the modulator valve. I kind of like the C4 with that input shaft that's loose like that and the detachable bell housings. They're just kind of cool. But as you see with trucks like Andy Wood's, they just reach their limit. You can't run a 700 horsepower, 4,000 pound truck with a C4, no matter how many clutches it has and how much line pressure it's running. It's just, you reach the limit. 904s are like that too. Busted Radio Garage says, I finally blew up Coke 727 and TC. Is that torque converter? Got to get it back up there. Yeah, I'll tell you what I'd like to do, Busted Radio. I would love to do this, is go up to Copes. I want to do a high gear only 727 for you, because I think I could make one that's more durable. With those blower motors you have, you don't need first and second gear for anything. I've even done the numbers on it. You have plenty of torque to smoke the tires in third gear just pulling out, much less once you're running. That would eliminate so many troublesome things. We wouldn't have a sprag at all, and your high gear clutch clearance could be really tight because, again, you're just shifting into it. It's not shifting at speed from second. You wouldn't have a band. You wouldn't have a servo. I think it'd be great. It would, yeah, I'd love to do it. I'd plan it with Cope and go up there and do it together with him if he's game for it. But I think that the high gear only 727 would be the trick. And now they make that SFI case. And Cope, by the way, I don't think they're here yet, but they're on the way. There is a batch of 727 SFI cases. One-eyed cats, I wouldn't mind having the second 727 redone just for the sake. I'd have another solid one built. They're up for grabs. Nobody's claimed one yet. If you want to get your parts order in with me, call in with me with CRT by the 13th of July. We'll get your parts and 500 flat fee labor, and it's going to be a No Name Nationals benefit. So that money's not for me, but that's a lot less than what people generally charge to build a good of that caliber transmission. Well, Don knows what's in his. I built Don's. Buster Hill says I have the number. Yes, I do. So when you're planning on getting with Cope on having another one built, let me know. I'd like to go up and pitch it to him. I think it will be pretty cool. There's so many things you can do to simplify that. Like you can even change the valve body to where it's like a demo derby valve body. Just goes one position, the other. Look how solid you can detent that shifter when you have that. Look how much quicker you go first to reverse. And there's no, you don't have any, you don't have first, you don't have second. No reason to have a sprag. You wouldn't need it. It'd be pretty cool, actually. Because you're not shifting in on all of those. You're not building all that heat going into third with it. Those clutches will be on anyway. So you could run, 9 or 10 clutches all the time? I don't know. I just think it'd be cool. Something I've kind of pondered and I think would be perfect for a burnout specialty car. You absolutely would not want that driving on the street or anything, but I think for a burnout specialty car, it'd be super cool. I mean, you probably could drive it on the street with a blower motor. I don't know why you couldn't. Yeah, Don, if you want that, let me know. I mean, I'm doing that one for Dexter's now, and a lot of those parts would be the same. But figure out how you want to build it if you want to do it, because there's lots of options. We could do one with a brake for you, or we could make some upgrades over the one you have now so that, if you get up in power and you say, okay, I want to upgrade my transmission game, we can do it. The next step up for you would be one that would have some billet, would probably have some upgraded frictions and steels. Busted Radio Chris says, I'm rolling out. Have a great 4th and 250th birthday, America. BRG out. Thanks for coming by. We appreciate you. Have a safe 4th, man. Rabbit Transit Jace, I did it with a stock 460 and a lanyard. Grand Marquis, he fragged that C6. This is one of these things that once I pick it up, it's like a fidget spinner to me. I can't set the thing down. We've already used this once, this thing with the reeded edge. So somebody here probably remembers how many reeds are on the edge of a 727 outer sprag race. I recycled that on someone else's live for trivia question 2 recently. Understand, Don, not a problem, but that's up there for grabs for somebody. So I'm going to do it with as many as 2 of them. And people keep telling me it's a good deal, but nobody's telling me I want to do it. And the thing is I know people got to figure out what parts they need and budget the parts, because the parts are going to be more in the transmission labor. I can help you with that. You just tell me what you're building and what kind of power level we're talking about, and I can help you figure out what you need. And then there are some places where for budget builds you can save a little. There are some places like I want to splurge a little, like especially cosmetically and things like that. But I will tell you, a good budget recipe for a solid 727 done on a budget but done well is the one I'm doing for Dexter. So parts will be in for that top of the week, and that one's going to start really coming together. That was a really good core, though, so it didn't have a lot in the way of hard parts. I knew it. Dean remembered. As long as it's not missing the 249th tooth. If it was missing one reed on this thing, that would be totally fine. Yeah, these things pressing one time. And what's interesting is the first time I put a bolt-in sprag in, I knocked this thing out. Actually, it was this literal one here. This is out of Dawn's. And when I did, these metal shavings came out. And I'm like, what in the world? And then Cope explained it to me. They get caught in this groove when they were put together at Kokomo, Indiana. And they haven't seen the light of day in 50 years, completely safely encapsulated in your transmission case. And when this comes out, they come out. When the new one comes in, you have to clean the bore good, but it doesn't bother them. You just slide back in there. It's fine. KJ Kylie asks me an interesting question with that 6-pack intake. That's cool. What's the story on the shot tower near the interstate? Drove by it this week. The shot tower was built in the early 1800s, and it was used to make lead shot. The Confederate Army would use it to make lead shot. What they would do is they'd take molten lead up to the top of it, and when they would drop it, it would go down this big shaft, this mine shaft building. That thing's, I don't know, it's like 5 stories tall or something. And it would cool. And by the time it got down to the bottom, it would hit the water. It was cooled, and that's what they would make a shot with. It'd make a round ball. They would drop mini balls. That's how they'd cast them. It's now in a park and protected. There's a house in the park too, but you could, I don't know if you still can. You used to be able to get tickets admission. I went in there many times when I was a kid. But I don't know what the deal on visiting it is now, but you used to be able to go in there. And you'd walk up to the top. It has a big spiral staircase inside it that goes all the way up. But it would, the lead would drop, and it had water because it's right on the New River, and they would use that to cool it, and that was how they made musket shot. I guess that was a neat way to cool it, as they figured it. Because lead, of course, cools quickly, you know, when you cast it, so it would just cool on the way down. And then it has this little balcony up on the top that faces opposite the river. And you could go out there on that. That was pretty cool. Man, I haven't been in that shot tower in probably 35 years. The Copester is in here. We've been mentioning the transmission thing. I don't know how long you've been able to mention the transmission thing. I've got my fidget spinner here too, my outer sprag race, which I technically owe you actually, but I've forgotten to give it to you the last few times I've seen you. But I picked this thing up. I can't set it down. It's like a fidget spinner for me. So I owe you the core on this thing. I've sold you a few this week. Yeah, that's the deal on it. My dad could have told you a lot more about it. Of course, he hadn't been here in 5 years, but he knew a lot more about it. And he knew the park ranger that worked there that ran it. Spraker was his name. First Responder Garage. Hello, Damien. Danny Boyd's more familiar with shock towers, a curse that Mopar people don't have. First Responder thinks I'm looking good. Well, cool. Tell you one thing, I'm sure glad this knee has gotten a lot better. It's close to 100%. It was probably 90%, you know, this spring, but now it's not hurting the same going down the driveway. So it's probably 98% or better. I'm happy. I just hope it doesn't come out of nowhere and get injured again. That's really terrible. Yeah, maybe I have worms. Manic Mechanic is back. Internet went out. Understandable. Danny Boyd says, my knees are functional enough. Not sure what they once were. First Responder says, fruit and bone broth makes joints happy. Can see that. That's what, I mean, gelatin's made from bone broth. No more flooring work. I think I originally hurt my knee pushing a mower, and I re-injured it working on the floor. I know how I re-injured it, but I think I hurt it originally mowing, pushing a mower up a bank, but I'm not sure. Because both times it was like the next day I woke up with a knee swollen so big I couldn't bend it. But it's so much better now. So much better now. I feel worse for Jethro because he got ripped off out of a lot of walking while my knee was so bad. First Responder Garage, I got almost 10,000 miles on the No Name Nationals Durango, so it's all running good, huh? Your 518 shifting and happy and doing its thing. Cop Car Steve from Canada says, I'm sitting in Washington State drinking a Rainier beer right now. Okay. I've never been to Washington State, never drank a beer. So two things I can't identify with at all. First Responder Garage says, yep, he's got his 518 all sorted out. Good deal. Dean Stevenson says, we don't have any MOA injuries in New Zealand. Well, it stands to reason you wouldn't have any MOA. You shouldn't have any scopes. You don't have any guns. I don't know. I think they have some long guns there that are super highly regulated. Who here is the first person to know what MOA is when it comes to rifles or pistols or firearms with optics? Uncle Doob's World says hello to everyone. Is that a 70 swinger, I believe, in your picture there? Kind of hard to tell in that thumbnail. It could be 70 or 71, but I mean, I'm guessing 70. I was watching that movie last night. Uncle Doob, good for you. That creepy old movie, Deliberate Stranger, which The Deliberate Stranger, which was the story about Ted Bundy, that serial killer. And this is going to sound weird, but what I like about that movie, I certainly don't like Ted Bundy or any of that, but the movie was made in, it was made in 86. It was set in the 70s, but the cars are so cool because he's in all these college towns and stuff. The opening scene in this thing is two Volkswagen Beetles. I think one was a 68, one was maybe a 72. There's a 71 Swinger in it. There's all kinds of cool old cars in it. It's like an episode of Chips for all cool old cars. That's the real reason to watch that thing, is the cars. First Responder Garage. Second gear still harsh on the 3-2 downshift. I loosened the band and it helped, but it still hit hard when slowing down. If I downshifted speed, it's less harsh. It's not harsh on the upshift. What lever are you running in that? Rabbit Transit, I wanted to get a coat valve body for my 518. Can't afford it at the moment. Have to settle for a shift kit. Yep, they're not cheap, but they truly are the best Mopar valve bodies in the world. I can say that truthfully. Cop Car Steve says, I started the 30 shorts in 30 days on May 25th, and I'll finish tomorrow. How do those numbers jibe? So you were doing them before that. So this is kind of like 40 shorts in 30 days, 40 shorts in 30 plus 10 days for you. Yeah, gain 100 subs. Yeah, cool. It's a lot of fun, isn't it? I got to figure out what my short is going to be for tomorrow. I don't yet know. I thought about doing one kind of Jethro themed because I celebrate his birthday on the 4th of July. So it'll be 250 for America, and we're calling this his 10th birthday. 70 Swinger 340, yeah. Lots of silly 70s, which it wouldn't be now. Now it would really stand out. Yeah, Racer Ray wants to know how everyone's doing with the 30 shorts challenge. 4.2 with the green band. Yeah, shouldn't have valve overlap with that. Mostly Mopar said the fresh 727 in my Fury needs more style. Looking for around 4,000 behind the 383. Has the 19 spline input shaft. Replace shaft and buy a 24 spline converter or hunt a 19 spline converter. I don't know off the top of my head what those spline numbers are. I know they changed them. I'd have to look. I just don't have it in my head. First responders skipped a couple of days, so he doubled up. Well, at least you're there having the fun. Mean Street Mopar's here. Howdy. Good to see you. Left Turn Dodge says I just passed 30,000 views on my best short. None of the 30 shorts have done that great, but it seems to have pushed my views on some of my older stuff. It works. Yes, it does. Levi says, any update on the Spokane special rebuild? Is it going to run? Well, guys, what are you doing? So, Scott, Steven, do you want to come on to the live and show us an update of what's going on? Let us know. Indecisive Garage said, Ed and I have been doing the 30 for 30 challenge and gained 1 sub. Oh, something's wrong there. Something's bad wrong there. You should at least gain some. Mohawk says, my shorts must suck. Only gained 14 subs in the last 29 days. Well, some of it's content. A lot of it's title. And YouTube likes consistency. I would not do the 5.0 lever in that, Damien. I would not. You get that, you're going to have band overlap. I would not do the 5.0 lever. I mean, the band usually speeds up the apply. I wouldn't do that at all. Big Richard's World, 2419. Yeah, I just don't remember which spline is which by year. I'm just not for sure. Richard says the 24 is 68 newer. There you go. Yeah, that's what I would definitely do because that's going to have your most aftermarket options. There you go. Thank you, Richard. Richard with the assist. Need a link. Okay. We can do it. All right, let's see if I can do this without knocking out my internet here. And I think that is going to be my best way to do it while minimally disturbing the Apple Cart. Got it. There you go. Left Turn Dodge, some of mine were really bad. Some of the bad ones get all the views. First responder lost subs to my shorts. What did you do? I don't want to know. Main Street Mopar says, my mom just got out of the hospital. She spent 10 days there for a severe UTI, so my 318 bill's been sidetracked. Well, take care of your mom. You only get one, and that's if you're lucky. Dean is killing himself over that. Big Richard says a 3.8 or 4.2 lever is recommended. 5.0 is too much overlap. Yes. And back when the 5.0 was even a factory offering, we did not have the valve bodies we have now. But, yeah, 3.8 or 4.2. But he's running a 4.2. He should be okay. But I would not go to the 5.0. If anything, a 5.0, you could get away with it maybe in a 904. Max Wedge Dick Dastardly says Muttley's birthday is the 4th, 2 this year. Okay. I just celebrate Jethro's July 4th. He's a rescue, so we don't know exactly, but we know about how old he is from his first checkup and so forth. So we're saying he's 10 tomorrow. Left Turn Dodge is the short I made asking about what to wear drag racing. Didn't do that well, but he got the most private messages. Oh, I bet. Cop Car Steve said the date is set. My son's going to get married on October 3rd. His best girl, Skylar. Okay. Excellent. All right. We've got a guest. We're going to try this.
Hey.
All right. Stephen
us?
And Scott. They are in the house. We're going to try this. I got an echo. Somebody's got a secondary audio going.
You're going to have to turn yours off.
Hey.
All right.
That's me.
Stephen, hear us?
All right. We're trying to get everything set up here.
Disconnected.
Is that better?
Sounds fine to me.
All right. So we're working on wiring and we're working on his car.
Cool. Excellent. So we want to see the Duster make it to the No Name Nationals, correct?
Yeah, we're wanting to see this sucker go up and down the road. I don't know how street legal it's going to be, but driving is what we're shooting for, so that it'll be able to take and show up over there and actually go down the drag strip and run around the pits, stuff like that.
All right, Scott, what are our odds? What are we looking at right now? What's our goal and our plan looking like from here out? Considering that we have 82 days and 3 hours even.
Work.
Work, but we still got to figure out some benchmarks and everything because we want to see it happen this year, right?
Correct.
I mean, remember, you don't necessarily have to have any glass in it or things like that, so you might prioritize in order of what it has to have to actually function.
All of the glasses in the car, all the way around, has a new windshield, back window, new rubber gasket around that, all the door windows, it's all in. Engine, transmission is in. I got to weld in the radiator core support up front, and then the whole car needs wired. It's kind of a tall order. I need my brake lines hooked up. They are ran though. I need to flare the ends. The transmission lines. I got my steering in, the starter, the headers, all that. The front end is rebuilt. It just needs buckled up. And then set it on this. If that helps.
I got him using
okay. Camera. And he's moving the laptop around. But I do, if I get the car wired, there's a video that shows me step by step on how to do that, so that helps a lot because I do need to, get the front end aligned. I need to hook up the gas system, but the gas lines are run. It's just basically hooking up the brake lines, the transmission lines, a bunch of little type things. I need to hook up the shifter. And then, just wire in my gauges. Just a bunch of little things now. All the big stuff is done.
Sounds good.
So they just need fine-tuned.
Excellent.
If I can get the electrical done, the rest should be a lot easier, to do.
What do we think about the plan, Stephen?
Tell you the truth, the brake lines look like they should be pretty easy. Shifter's pretty easy on that. It's going to be interesting on the electrical. Like I talked to him before, we're trying to see if he's got his stock style harness for the rear of this car. Because if he can get the power or the wiring from the back to the front, and we just have to tie in with this universal harness, it'll be a lot easier. The nice thing about the column is it's still got the plug there. So as long as we can get another plug, he can actually go into it and plug into the factory plug. Because I was looking at his harness, he's pretty much got the same stuff that's going to need to go into the column like normal. So as long as we can try to do, like I said, like the taillight harness, maybe the front headlight harness on that thing with the stock stuff, then it shouldn't be that big a deal to take and wire the sucker up.
I can show you the harness I do have. I do have a 440 harness that I got off of a motorhome in the junkyard. And it's in good condition. I'd have to punch a hole through my firewall and, hook it up old style, which I'm okay with. And then because the firewall has been smoothed out.
Right.
So everything is custom on the car. It's just not plug and play. You have to make everything work.
Do remember, you can't have big gaps in the firewall. So when you do that, you need to run it through a grommet so it doesn't skin the wires and you don't have a gap there. That defeats the purpose of the firewall.
Yeah, to eliminate the way things can get through there. So yeah, electrical has always been my weakness. I'll admit it. I'm more of a body type guy.
Some of the stuff that's lacking right now is he still needs the alternator to take and be able to hook up that portion of it. I was looking at the wiring a minute ago, and we got exciter field power, stuff like that. But with it having the instead of being a regular motor mount type setup, it's got a motor plate on it. He's only got certain alternators he can use to go into that.
Right.
Because of the brackets and the gap. I do have a spacer for my crank and all that to shim everything out so that it should line up through Mancini.
Looks like you got a harness in the works over here with Indirect Connection Jay and Jason. We're having Jay and Jason there. And speaking of being a body man, Ed's machine is here. Ed's getting his duster painted by Bondo Billy. I've been watching the progress on that. So a blue duster may be happening. I said to Ed, I think he's going to have that ready for the 8th annual No Name Nationals. So that's what he's striving for.
Car in the background, at least.
Sorry, I'm trying to catch up with what was being said in the chat because we jumped out of there.
Yeah, we can't see any comments whatsoever.
Okay.
Of course, now our heads are cut off. I thought maybe we'd get the car in the background, too. Oh, maybe I could do this.
We just wanted to check in on you.
Sure. Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
We basically got about another 2 days worth of work that we can do before I have to get out of here on Monday.
Okay.
So I got the most of the stuff I needed done on my Challenger. They threw a curveball to Scott. He's got guys showing up to do a re-roof on his house on Wednesday.
Okay.
So they had 1 or 2 things that he had to knock out. So while I was working on the Challenger, he was working on the house. Now we're back over here working on the Duster again.
Getting a roof on the house.
Oh yeah.
That's
The
always
house,
fun.
the garage, carport, and the RV thing.
And that's not cheap.
You'll see the videos, all the work that I've been doing.
I've done some roofing. Not a fan.
Yeah, luckily it's an insurance claim, so we had windstorm blow a bunch of shingles off our roof, and Kelly's like, let's do an insurance claim, and so that'll save us. We just pay the deductible and somewhere around there, and they'll do all the rest. And Wednesday they'll start, and they said they should have everything done in about 3 days.
Yep, sounds about right.
So that'll be nice. It's that much less I have to do.
Yeah, I don't mind the roofing work itself, but I hate getting up there and all that, and it really wears on you, wears you out.
Yeah, it's especially the older we get.
I'm gonna probably wind up doing the little hip roof myself on my treehouse in Bluefield. And it's not too bad, but I got to fix a porch. I'm not sure I'm gonna do that, and to do that, I'm gonna have to have a big part of it exposed for a while. And when you're working by yourself, you don't really want that because you're going to get caught in the rain. So, always tough. It's always something. But you got a good crew there now. Looks like you're going to get the Duster ready. So, we're going to try to make a pass down the track with it, huh? That's the goal.
Oh yeah.
He's got his fuel cell mounted in there. I've got to check and see what fuel lines he's got on there. The only bad thing about the 440 at this point is it needs to be cranked up and the cam run in at this point.
Yeah, it needs broke in.
And we haven't talked yet about which carburetor he has and whether it's a known good carburetor so that we can actually do it. I did bring my small 3-gallon fuel cell with me so that we could possibly try to do that, but it's just there's going to be small things. The rest of the car looks real solid. He's actually starting from a lot better situation than most of us start with. It's not all covered in rust and holes and
yeah, we don't have the rust up here. That's a Edelbrock 750
Edelbrock.
I actually had a guy call me. He has a 47 Ford, and he's trying to get it tuned, and he has a 600 Holly on a 454 Chevrolet in it.
Oh, wow.
And I said, what made you go with that carburetor? And he said, oh, I was just told if I went any bigger than that, it'd be too big and it would never run. I said, really? I just put an 800 CFM carburetor on my Chrysler 318.
Yeah, we'll touch base with Jason and Jay, and I think somebody else also offered some extra stuff in there. I'm trying to see through the chat here.
Manic Mechanic, where are you guys located? Wiring is one of my specialties. In Spokane, Washington right now, all right?
Correct. Yeah, it's my nemesis.
Wiring it can be tedious, but you know, it's not too bad once you get in the frame of mind to do it.
Yeah, I'm real detail oriented, so that helps. But like there's that one video, how to wire a race car on YouTube, and a guy, he starts from the basics. You do this, you do this. This is how this works. And I was like, oh, that makes sense. Because when I see a wiring harness, all I see is a big glob of wires. And it's hard to see what does what for me.
Damien says, I don't mind wiring, but it takes a lot of time. That is accurate. Do good wiring. It does take time. I really like to do wiring right so that I don't have to revisit it. I can't stand it when people just string that wire, crimp it, and all this. I'm like, great. So a year from now, you're going to have something that's got an open or a short and all these problems. I'm like, well, you built it to go bad in a year. I like to really take my time, solder everything so that I never have to go back and deal with it again.
Yeah, last time I was home, I actually sat down and talked with the Dodge Whisperer, since he actually lives close by.
Oh yeah,
and
that's right.
He said, "Man, if that thing hadn't had all the bulkhead connector fittings all welded up and everything," he said, "Man, just go get an M&H harness and be done with it, because it's all going to lay out like the stock stuff, and it goes back together a whole heck of a lot."
Yes,
because he did one of those. He had one of those auto wire ones that's supposed to be specifically for the Mopar ones, and he said it took him a hell of a lot longer to figure that out, and he said he was still putting wires together after the No Name Nationals.
Rabbit Transit Jason, it looks like there's a harness in Jason's tub he has stored at my house. So they think they found you a harness.
There you go.
I can show you the one I have if you want.
Yeah, go for it. So we've got, I know he's got a front engine harness that actually came off another 440, but it came out of a motorhome. But he marked everything when he took it apart, so it should go together too. All right, Jason, we'll take in, let him know. Yeah, I told him we did. We were committing sacrilege yesterday because we went to his nicely packed barn where all his parts were packed all the way out to the door, and we started pulling parts out to go with that Challenger, and it left a clear space in that thing. Said, "Dadgum, that ain't right for a Mopar guy."
I have space again.
Jay says you need an engine harness, Scott.
That's what he's got right here is the engine harness portion.
I took the tape off of it, unraveled it, and I did a schematics of it where everything goes to. That's what my neighbor suggested, because he wires semi trucks. He's like, but some of these didn't make sense. What they, if they applied to me or not. But and then I labeled everything.
Ballast.
Of course, you can tell on some of the ends where they go to, but like alternator, yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But if I was smart, I would have grabbed the other plug that goes through the firewall, because I just have this part but not the other.
That's the comment of the night right there. Indirect connection. Jason says Scott's wiring harness looks like the Christmas lights in Christmas Vacation.
He's got it all here. It's neutral safety switch, ballast resistors here, connector for your electronic ignition.
That's
distributor plugs.
Plug and play. It'd be easy.
Brain box.
It's in good condition. The wires are soft. They're not cracked. And
yeah, it's actually a nicer harness than I'm used to looking at.
That is too good. That needs to be pinned.
Yeah, the
Lars is back.
I'll just leave it at that.
The part that gets you?
The part that gets me is if you're doing like a race car, do you need like the ballast resistor and all that other stuff compared to because if I use this, I'll need those parts.
So the thing about the ballast resistor is that a lot of times your ignition coil is supposed to run on 9 volts. Okay, so it depends what kind of coil and ignition box you're running. If you're running like a 4-pin Mopar factory box, you need to have it.
Okay. I just had it. I don't know how many pins this is, but a 4-pin. Because in that one video I saw, they didn't even mention anything like that, and that's where my mind, I see they're saying this, but this is different. So.
Yeah, first responder says you can also do it like a Chevrolet if you want to. I mean, that's another way to do it. I like to keep my Mopar stuff looking Mopar, but you can wire in do an HEI like that. All right. So the next question for you guys is, besides Chevy Chase's Christmas lights, logistically, how are you planning to get to the No Name Nationals?
Fun question. I tried asking Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage. He's over in the Seattle area. But that's a no-go because he said he wanted to get 2 vehicles there this year. And I planted a bug in his ear. And I said, I know you want to take 2 cars, but if you don't, I'll pay half your fuel to get down there. You can take my car. But with this truck, it won't work out, the situation. So that's a no-go. But what I was going to do is, the only thing, I don't have a truck and that'll haul a car. They did deliver my Little Red Express though, finally. But, and so what I was hoping to do is I use the hobby to fund the hobby. So I was going to see if I could try to sell off some cars to raise some money to pay a shipper to get down there and then pay one to get back. So I'm in Spokane and it's in Missouri. So that's like 1,930 miles, something like that. But, so we'll see. There was a broker that I had called, Jamie from Dead Dodge Garage. Tom that he worked with, but he referred me to a broker who Tom uses him to ship everything. And so he gave me his number. I called him, and back in, was it February? I called him and got a quote from him how much it would cost. And he was saying it would be about $1,300 one way. Of course, that was before the whole Iran thing with the gas prices and everything. So, but now that prices are a little higher, but we're hoping they'll drop down by then, but we'll see. So that's kind of my hopes to get there and back. And so my wife, she just got home. So yeah, I told her it's okay to be on the live too if she wanted.
Hot Rod Guy Garage, Russell, I doubt that. By the time you add up the per mile on the trucks and paid fuel and all that, probably not.
I actually looked into that option, and they said to rent a truck would be like super expensive. I'm like, I could buy a truck for that much. And so yeah, the U-Haul thing wasn't an option that I found, at least. So I had a curiosity, Stephen. Why didn't you think this would be street legal? Tires?
As far as trying to get everything wired to where everything's going to take and work exactly the way it needs to be, that's kind of what my thought process would be, at least for no names. If you've got somebody who can actually do full-blown wiring, yeah, but it's going to take quite a bit of wiring
Like
Unless-
headlights,
taillights, blinkers.
stuff like that.
Yeah, because going down the track, you got to have at least, what is it, one tail light and one headlight? Or do you
You're supposed to.
So
You don't have to have a headlight. You're supposed to have one tail light.
and
You could use arm signals.
but it all depends. I mean, if you've got the time and somebody who can actually sit there and walk you through it, or you can do it, then yeah, you could take and get it street legal. But it's going to take a little bit more.
Yeah. I could always hop a ride with someone to Lambert's again.
Well, that's always a possibility. There's plenty of hitchhiking opportunity for that. Of course, Racer Ray toes down with a 59 Chevy.
But as far as him getting it to Sykeston, as long as he can get it down there, I think it'll actually be able to be run by the time it gets there. It's just a matter of I'm just not sure whether or not it'd be street legal or not.
Yeah, and the goal is to have it run and drive so that it'll load on its own. Because if I ship it and it doesn't run, they charge extra for a winch and all that fun stuff. And a lot of car carriers don't want to deal with that. So I want to have at least running before then, make some passes on it, make sure it's lined and all that stuff as well. So
Hey, Scott, run this idea by your wife. Buy a used box truck, rent the trailer, and live in the back of the truck for the duration and sell the truck when you get home.
I actually thought about that. Remember that bus picture that I sent you?
Yeah.
And
that was cool. That was really cool.
I think it's still for sale. Yeah, they chopped the back of the bus off, made a ramp on it, living quarters on it, and then I thought super reliable, everything. And then I thought when I got back, I could drive down myself there and back, and then sell it when I got home. And they were asking like $8,000 for it. And at the time I had the money, but way more than I wanted to spend. But no, it wasn't $8,000. It wasn't that much. But anyway, but it's still kind of for sale. So I doubt anybody else. It'd take a special person to want to buy it. So I thought about it.
Not an admission of guilt, but Levi says his Laguna may not have been street legal. May not have been.
Well, as long as you can have some friends in front of you and some friends behind you to sandwich you in, you should be fine.
Well, the big thing is we got to get these couple of people who want to do burnouts and act like fools on the drive to Lambert's. They cut us grace, and then people do that, and that's infuriating to me.
Yeah.
So, but most of you guys drive responsibly, but there's always a few who just cannot do it. I mean, we have one intersection for you to not peel out of between the track and Lambert's, and I don't get that.
I was going to say that one intersection gets everyone every time. They want to catch up to the convoy.
It doesn't get them. They just choose to do that.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying my hardest. I have fulfilled a call out with Brian from Dust Devil Garage, and we got to make it happen this year.
You got to do it, man. 82 days, 2 hours, 45 minutes, 35 minutes. Any questions for Scott and Steven over here? Cop Car Steve's getting the burger. Says he'll see us next Friday. Excellent.
A lot of people are saying just get the car running and drive it down. It's like, have to swap out some gears.
That's an even taller order.
And it's like, oh man. Especially a car that you just get running. You're wondering like, what gremlins do I need to work out of it? I'm sure I'd find them.
In it? What gear is in it?
A low gear. I don't know which ones exactly, but I'd spun the tire one whole rotation and watched the yoke. I think it went for at least in the 4, maybe 430 something, about almost 4.5 rotations on the not the yoke, the other side,
Yeah.
the back end where the drive line hooks up.
Mr. Rotter wants you to hijack Jamie's ramp truck.
He's asking what your build was.
Right. First responder wants to know tell us about that 440.
Yeah, the 440 is out of a truck. My friend Paul, he actually bought the motor a long time ago for his Roadrunner, but my friend wanted he had a 70 Roadrunner and he wanted a more period correct motor. And he bought this one from a guy that said it was rebuilt. And after he bought it, he literally took everything apart to see if it was what he said it was. And sure enough, it was. And he even had all the receipts and everything for it. It's bored over 30. It's like a 75 block, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And then, so there's nothing real special in it. I have an electric water pump. And then it's got the Edelbrock, is it the air gap?
RPM.
The Performer RPM and intake. And so the cam, I guess, was, built with the intake. So apparently all that'll help. And then, but my friend Paul, he sold the motor to me for $440. And so it was all disassembled. And then my friend Ted, he reassembled everything for me while I was trying to get it working the first year of the No Name Nationals. So it's nothing special.
What did you wind up doing transmission-wise for the Duster?
Actually, it has back up a little. Chris Albrecht from the Talking Mopars podcast. Yep. We did some trading. I had a 73 Roadrunner. He called it the dumpster fire. Mm-hmm. And but then traded the car, and he had a transmission that I got from him as part trade, and it's in the Duster now. It's completely rebuilt for racing. He has a list of everything that it has in it. It's all foreign language to me. I don't understand, what's in it. I've never been inside an automatic transmission before. And so it's pretty stout. The torque converter is the same torque converter out of the truck. So we dumbed it down with the torque converter. So it should be able to handle a fair amount of power, I was told. Everything's super clean. It's never been run yet, so it's a fresh transmission.
Well, I mean, since it's never been run, you're going to get the bugs worked out to make sure that thing has doesn't have 5 neutrals,
Yeah, hope not.
Yeah, in fact, the 727 I'm doing now for this fella, I'm doing it because he had one built by the local wizard. I don't know who it is, but he had one built by somebody, and it doesn't have any pressure. It doesn't have any gears. It's a mess. So want to make sure that thing works right. So that sounds exciting. I can't wait to see Scott going down the track. We've been just wanting to see this every year.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
You're somebody that I can see a lot of people coming to the fence for when you get up there.
Especially going against the black Duster. I want to paint mine white. And Brian, he painted his black. Since I'm Heaven's Mopars,
Yeah, well, it actually works.
Against the Dust Devil. Yeah.
The Dust Devil, yeah.
That'll be classic.
That's pretty cool, actually.
Yeah. Hi, Brian. I'm totally trying again.
Yep, two people that really well loved in the community. I like that. I like that theme. That's pretty cool.
And then I thought it would be cool to. I got kind of some cosmetic type things for it that I found on Marketplace real cheap. I got a spoiler for the front that goes all the way across, and kind of retro, I guess, kind of old school, and then like a ducktail spoiler for the back, and so stuff like that. I got the snorkel hood scoop that came on the Dusters. Throw all that on there and paint everything white. Maybe some black on it. And
well, Levi, he needs to reach out to shippers and get a quote, and we'll do that. We'll do just that. I want to do this for Scott, but we got to have an actual plan, figure out how much that shipping's going to be, and then we'll do it. We'll set our goal to that and make it happen. So with Scott, let's get in contact with the shipper and actually book and commit this thing, because you're 82 days out. 82 days, 2 hours and 28 minutes, and they got to make reservations.
Yeah, the guy that I'm going through, he said when it gets down to 2 months out to call him again.
Okay.
And so in about another month, I'll call him, or pretty soon actually, and to dial in a price, because I'm sure it's changed by now. The only problem about using that guy is he has a $300 broker fee, but he's a guaranteed guy, because trying to ship my Little Red Express, it was only 791 miles away. And I went through 2 or 3 trucking companies, and I was chasing my tail. I was sick of them. And so working with this guy, at least I know that, it'll get done. It is what he says it is. So, but yeah, I'll fine tune a quote and go from there.
It looks like to me that on my math, the last Friday in July looks like we'll be in that 60-day window. Is that right? Is that what you guys have? I think that's pretty close, last Friday in July. So if that works, you get us a number, a real number on the shipping, and we'll do something, okay? So that we can do this and commit. But that's also going to put the clock on you to see where you can get that Duster in 23 days.
A little bit of pressure.
Well, that's okay. Pressure can be a good thing.
Yep.
Just a little bit. Without any, we wouldn't do anything, right?
Correct. It's probably backwards. It says the difference between impossible and the possible is determination. Little inspirational quotes. Here's another one. Dr. Seuss. You're off to great places today. You're off to great places. Today is your day. Your mountain is waiting, so get on your way.
I like the one that says, if you think you can't do it, you're right.
Yeah. Whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And then good old Yoda says, do or do not. There is no try.
Well, we want to see you do it. So 60 days out, you make the plan. Sounds to me like the last Friday in July is going to be your commitment to ship and know your cost and everything. And I'm telling you guys now, we'll organize around that. So let's be thinking about it. But we need to know what it's going to cost, what it's going to run. Last Friday in July sounds like you should be able to give us a number and commitment and everything, right?
Yeah.
As I told you last year at the No Name Nationals, you get the car ready and we'll help you get there.
Thanks, guys. You're awesome.
Well,
I'll do my part too, trying to raise the money. So
I knew Steven was going to be up there, so we wanted to check in and see how this was going.
Yeah, he's a working machine, man. He's great inspiration for everyone. Definitely hard worker. He knows his stuff.
Here's something you should take a look at. Big Richard said, I can help get it going. I'm in Northern California. Big Richard is quite a car builder.
What do you mean by that?
You should check his channel out, Richard.
Help get it. He said he'd come help.
Yep. I believe Richard was in the inaugural No Name 500, and he is a Mopar builder, knows his stuff. He would be a good one to have on your team.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Big Richard just resurfaces all of a sudden. It's good to see him in here.
Well, thanks, brother. I'll take you up on that.
Yeah. Yeah, seriously, get with him. He can help you. He knows what he's doing. He's a good one to have in your team. Yeah, for real. I'm glad Richard's here. I see him occasionally on the comments of people's videos. He says, get it running. Yeah, he can do that. He can help you with that.
I'm sure I can get another side of the plug-in, get the power going in there, and then that's 90% of making it run. Yeah. I'm sure if I twist my arm hard enough, my neighbor 2 houses down that works on the semi-trucks wiring things, he could help with the wiring too if I traded some work or something.
Junkyard D, we're getting a live update from Scott and Steven, live from Washington State. They're trying to get the Duster ready. There's 82 days, 2 hours, 22 minutes until the Duster needs to be en route to Sykeston. And that's the plan. He's going to firm up his shipping commitment 60 days out. So the last Friday in July looks like is when we'll be able to get together and help him do that. And that's where it looks like it stands right now. He has a wiring harness that looks like the Griswolds from Christmas Vacation. And Jay and Jason have some wiring for him, and it looks like it's a whole bunch of fun.
Hey, JYD and everyone else.
Speaking of Junkyard D, Junkyard Jay's been coming up in the No Name 500. He looks like he's making a move toward first place. He's fewer than 100 subs out of first now.
So yeah.
World of Wood Chips said if Kid Rock sees his shadow, there will be 6 more weeks of fireworks. Oh, wait a minute. Okay, 9:38. I said at the very beginning of this live, how long was it going to be before the neighbor kids start setting off fireworks early tonight? 9:38. It was 98 minutes into the live.
Would you like a chair?
I'm good.
Yeah, no kidding. Everybody's glad to see Big Richard still fogging the mirror. You disappeared on us for a while. He's back. Come hang out with us more often, Richard. Richard, what's the status of your fleet right now? Because last we saw you had that wagon, Betty White. You'd bought a B-body, a Roadrunner that was pretty complete.
You guys should see all the work Steven did to his Challenger since he got it out of my garage. Or since I put the trunk pan and the taillight panel on it. But yeah, it looks like a car again now. In a matter of 2 days.
Excellent. Taillight panels can be tricky.
Oh, man. Especially this one because they previous people cut directly through the quarter panel to take the taillight panel off.
Man.
New quarter panels, like, I don't know their logic in that, but yeah, I had to stick a jack in the cross in a 2x4 to spread them back out because they tapered back in to the end. Yeah. Fun.
Unfinished Project puts up the link to Big Richard's World. Excuse me. You guys have any questions for the chat? While you're here, you can harass people. While y'all thinking of that, I'm going to pitch something out there really quick too. For this upcoming week, actually it began today, and it's going to run through the 13th of July. That's Sunday. I'm covering customer service and taking orders for Cope Racing transmissions. While I'm doing that, if anybody in our community, which of course is here in the chat and others, but anyone who would like for 500 labor, which goes straight into the No Name Nationals General Fund, for that 500 labor, you pay for your parts when you order from me at CRT this upcoming week, and I'll build your transmission. And that's any 3-speed that you want to do, 3-speed torque flight, 904 family, 727. We can do it forward, reverse. We can do options, race, street, whatever you want to do. Your core, or if I can source you a core, you'll get it at core price. No markup on the parts. All I'm asking is you call into me to order your parts. We use all CRT parts, and then 500 labor, but that goes straight into No Name Nationals General Fund. That's a good discount on labor. You get a good transmission. Everybody wins. And it helps fund the No Name Nationals. Big Richard has sold everything and kept that Roadrunner. Junkyard D, what engine is going in the Duster?
It's a truck 440, the short answer. It came out of my dad's trail duster, actually.
Junkyard D is trying to expand that offer.
Oh, and speaking of Dad, we'll be heading out to Newport tomorrow at my parents' place. And that's where John's 400 is. And we're going to go pick that up tomorrow for that guy.
Excellent. Can you do a short on that while you're there?
Yeah.
That'd be neat. That'd be neat. So Cope is sitting here saying that he's got an update on the score. Cope is got me pitted against his website for Salesman of the Week. Right now, the website is up 7-2. I only got 2 orders this morning. And then I had a guy wanting some tech questions on 904 cores to take them to Carlisle. Okay. But I think next week I'm going to be able to catch up with the website. So if you guys want anything from Cope Racing Transmissions, while you could use the website, you actually would rather call 219-374-0100 and place your order with Wilburn, because that way I can pass the website for Salesman of the Week. And I can help you spec out your build if you want to take advantage of having me build your transmission. And if you want me to build that transmission and deliver it to No Name Nationals, we've got time to get that too. Unfinished Project said you can call that to order CRT parts and ask tech questions. Yes, you can.
Yeah, I've got a set of Dove C cylinder heads in the back of my truck already for Russell at Outfits Garage that are coming back with me. Plus, I got a transmission, an engine, and an extra bell housing for JB.
You got
to have John's 400, so
he's making the rounds.
Making the rounds. Rabbit Transit Jay, I want a valve body for my 518. You can put that order in, Jay. Give me a call. The number's above. Call me and get that order in. Levi, I don't even know what that means. Does all Cope-related items get? What does that mean? If you can order it from CRT, I mean, what does that even mean, man? Junkyard D wants to know, what are you using for headers with that 440 and that tight engine bay? Yeah, that's a good question.
Some beat up ones.
Some ones you made fit, right?
Exactly. What happened, you can move it if you want, is while I narrate it, I had some headers from I don't know where, and I'm like, I think those will fit. And however, if back here, the tube in the back, I had a friend who custom made a set of headers for his dart, and I actually paid him a couple $100. But he came and banged, and he made this one to go around the steering, and but it's tight, very close. But and then we had to bang the snot out of to go around the steering box. I had to in and out, in and out, in and out 100 times to, and then with the starter, I had to use a mini starter. The big one, you just could not get it in there. So I got a mini starter in there, which made it so much easier. And but they're totally custom. The other side basically dropped right in. I had to bang around the
Torsion bar.
transmission, the corner of the transmission, because it wanted to hit it on the pan. So I banged it kind of flat. But I don't know how far you can bang headers until it's considered no good anymore. So I guess we'll find out. So the one side's custom made. I don't know what style they are, what brand even. I think my dad had them laying around, and so they weren't being used. So like, let's put them in here.
You know, headers are kind of a mystery thing. I mean, I've seen a lot of mystery headers, but yours actually are under chassis though. They're not fender well.
Yeah, I wish they came through, but it is what it is. I just used what I had, and with this whole car, I did buy, some new stuff like motor plate, the gauges, blah blah blah. But so yeah, it's kind of a hodgepodge.
Left Turn Dodge says Engine Master says you can crush those headers in and it doesn't lose much. And Andrew Nelson says, no, you can't. No one does that. That episode has that, but I'm telling you that they do lose. They said they've seen losses. I tend to trust the conventional wisdom of a lot of people who've done it a whole bunch of times and lost versus some people who did it once and didn't. But I did see that episode. They took some headers and smashed and smashed and smashed and smashed on them to see where they could lose power. It was surprising and it was interesting. But
as long as it works, I'm happy.
Nah, I prefer to keep them not smashed. I've got a set of headers where 3 tubes are just smashed flat on the driver's side from hitting the big crater on the ground. Yeah, JB's hinted at taking the 454 out of his Suburban and putting it in the trash truck. That Suburban is nice. No, it's none of that first responder. You're conflating that with another engine that's getting hauled down here. It has nothing to do with it. But JB's talked about the 454 and the Suburban. That Suburban is really nice. It's rusty, but the interior's nice. Got cold air conditioning. It rides nice. I'd hope he'd keep that Suburban as long as he can. Won't be worse than the stock manifold? Nope, nothing would be. Yeah, what I took from that episode is a little's probably fine. Yeah, well, a little is required most of the time. Yeah, that 400 is a whole. That's a whole different thing. That's nothing to do with JBs. They're just getting a common carrier, Mr. Stephen Holtz. Stephen has been out there to the farm with all the good stuff on it, right?
Correct. My parents' place?
Yep.
I have chickens and dogs here, so I guess it's in Spokane, so it's kind of a farm.
What was the deal with your neighbor's cars? I remember you had that going on.
The neighbor out there.
Oh,
yeah.
My parents My grandma gave each of her kids, my uncles, there's 4 of them, 10 acres. We all live right next to each other. And my Aunt Kathy, she had passed away, but we had asked her, we live in the field, and then the field makes kind of an L shape and goes into my Aunt Kathy's property. And she has trees and then the field. So they're kind of hidden from the road. But ours is all field and didn't want all our cars seen from the road. So we asked if my Aunt Kathy, if we could put them in her section of the field. But she had passed away. And then I asked my cousin Mike, is it okay? Because he inherited the property. It's Kathy's son, my cousin. And so then he's like, yeah, it's fine if you store your cars here. But what happened was when Kathy was alive, she used her house to house a bunch of other people. And the one person that she let them stay in their motorhomes and stuff, kind of a hippie type, And so the one guy was a car guy too. And she's like, can I store my cars down there too? And she's like, sure. And so we have half our cars down there and the other half is, his cars. So it's kind of a jumbled mess, but we have them all in rows and everything. But what happened was my cousin Mike, I said, is it okay if I still keep my cars there? And he said, sure. And but then a few months later, he's like, I changed my mind. I want them all gone. And I'm like, huh? And he's like, I want everything cleared out of there. And so I'm like, oh, great. And so he goes, you can keep some of your cars here, but thin them out. And you can put some of them against the fence so that they're out of the field. Actually, our neighbor 2 places down, we let him plow the field. And he just wants it looking nice down there, which is understandable. And he's like, pick a few that you want, and then you can park them against the fence. But all of his cars and all the other ones got to go. So now I'm just getting rid of stuff. So it's family, actually. But he was fine with it at first, but now he kind of changed his mind. So, and I'm like, I got to focus on the ones I want anyway, and just use the other ones to fund the ones I want to keep. So it's just a little fire under my butt to get rid of some stuff.
What kind of time frame are you going to do that, man?
So, but it makes it tough because when I see a car for sale and I'm like, I can fix that up or whatever. But now my cousin's like, no. And, no new stuff, bring it down, So,
what time frame are you on to do that?
As long as the communication is open, and I told him which ones I want, and the rest will go. And he's like, "Oh, that's fine." So I kind of have some time to do that. I've already got rid of 2 or 3 of them, so he knows that I'm making an effort. And as long as I communicate with him, he can honor that. So, but sooner the better.
Time is of the essence, huh?
Yeah. He just wants to relax and have a nice place to relax at without having to look at it all. Now that it's his. Oh, yeah. Check this out. We got a new family member. This is Coconut.
Yeah, I saw a video with Coconut.
And here's Rusty.
Oh, yeah.
Probably can't see him, but. Oh, yeah.
Scott, did he ever decide what they're
Oh.
doing with the 79 Ford truck?
Not yet. My cousin said he wanted it, but Jason, he wants to buy it. So I asked my cousins, because they stored it down there, my other cousins. And at first they said, yeah, we want to sell it. But then their kids are growing up, and they always wanted a square body truck kind of situation. And now they're saying, well, we'd kind of like to keep the truck now. So I think they're still doing that, but knowing them, they'll probably never do anything with it. So one of them situations.
Is there anybody on to it?
Big Mike said
Yeah.
it can get out of hand with cars. He just realized today they have 23 vehicles on our property.
Yeah, we probably have more than that.
Yeah.
I already did. They were asking what the situation was. I see a spider descending.
Well, Mike, do you have one fewer now?
It's getting hard to hear.
Terry Cuda said cats are good value too.
That right there is Steven's Challenger. I can barely see it back there, but half in the sun. He's grinding on something. I can't hear anything. So I was like, what? Sorry.
Any of you guys have any final questions for these guys? I'll let you be getting anything else you want to ask them before we run down. Indirect Connection says, Kelly, are you getting your car running?
What's that?
Are you getting your car running?
Your car running? The
No.
Dart. It runs and drives, but it doesn't have a title. We bought it without one. The short answer is no.
How much static do you get in Washington State trying to do titles on old cars?
Oh,
Enough.
it's a pain in the butt. You have to do a 3-year title. You have to go have it inspected, and then they look to see if it's stolen, and they wait 3 years. And if someone comes back and says, yes, it's stolen, then you don't get a title. But they do issue a registration right away, though. And so that during that time, you can drive it for those 3 years.
Mm-hmm.
But if someone says, yes, it is stolen, they don't just get the car back. They have to buy it from you. And you can log how many years you've stored it for, and you can charge them a storage fee, apparently. So, and if you dump all that money into your car, you keep every receipt, and then they have to pay you for everything, all your receipts, plus your time you had it, plus the car. So they just don't get it back, apparently. So it's just a nightmare.
If you got a registration and you've already spent all that on the car, that's going to give a thief an opportunity to try to steal it from you because they're going to be shopping when the car's out there. I just think that's terrible.
Yeah, it's stupid. And then after 3 years, if it comes back clear, then they send a title to you.
I hate that practice.
Yeah, it's annoying.
Look how many of these old cars yeah. Wow.
So
Indirect Jason saying just squatted it for 3 months and they can't kick you out. Make it your domicile.
Yeah.
Squatters get more rights than we do.
Sad.
That actually happened to my cousin that I was just talking about.
Okay.
But when my aunt passed away, they tried taking it over and he couldn't get in there, but they finally got it figured out.
Yes. Give him the boot.
Jason did a mechanics lien on the satellite.
What's that?
Excellent. Well, we're getting really close to our time here. I'm glad that both of you could join us. This was fun. We've got to take a peek in and see how things are coming on the Duster. 82 days, 2 hours to go. Is he going to get there? Looks like a great effort's being made.
Yes.
Going to have an update by the end of the month.
He should have a better update by the end of the month. Things have been crazy for him. He's been working his butt off, prepping for our roof. So it's been a little bit of a cray-cray time, but we'll get there. He works very hard.
He does. That he does. We're anxious to see it.
Yes, you do.
We want to see the victory.
Yes, absolutely.
Johnny C says, happy 4th and birthday to Jethro. Yes, happy birthday, America, and happy birthday, Jethro. Exactly.
Yeah.
Next is happy 250, everybody. That is right. So, one final reminder, if you call in your order with Cope Racing Transmissions for parts this upcoming week, I can help you spec it, help you build it. $500 flat rate labor goes to the No Name Nationals General Fund if you want me to build you a 3-speed automatic. So just a reminder about that. There's a short on my channel if you want to take advantage of that. Also, here come the last Friday in July. Scott should have some things firmed up with the shipper, and we can put together a benefit for him for then. I think that's going to be a lot. We'll have a lot of fun. We'll do it telethon style. And we're going to make this happen with him. I'm excited to see it happen. He has earned it, and he's been very patient, and he's always the last to leave, picking up trash there on the grounds of the event. I think there's nobody who deserves to get to make a pass down that track more than Scott. So we're anxious to do that. Don't forget to catch Tech Talk Live on Wednesday with Dallas and Professor P. And with that, do you guys have anything else for these folks before we sign off and enjoy our 4th of July weekend?
Happy 4th of July, everyone. Be safe.
Absolutely. Be very safe. People are crazy out there.
Keep all your fingers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, you guys take care. Have a great and safe weekend. I'll be looking forward for your shorts to finish up for tomorrow. We're taking the 30 shorts in 30 days, so we'll be looking at them. And you guys have a great weekend, and I will see you all again next Friday. Take care.
Thank you.
Cool. Thanks again, John.